This is a very aggressive flank. Yeah, so it's not really that important to go all the way behind the enemy team, right? Unless you expect me to jump straight in like this, which is possible, because I think I was calling I was going to do that, and then I like messed up, and then also had to pause, I think. Um, but like this is like really risky as opposed to just like playing here, right? Controlling this angle, like beating the tracer for this, and then just walking in when they're not looking, and then like blinking in onto the play. Or if that enemy support walks forward, like this is like pretty free, right? But going all the way around is like pretty risky. So if you look where the support ended up, which is here, right? You could have accomplished the same thing just by being like, like here, or here, or like here, and then that way you also apply pressure. Like you can help me fight this tracer, for example, right? There's a bunch of stuff you can do if you're just closer to the fight. So like don't be too caught up with the idea of flanking all the way around. I see you do this on Legion Gardens a lot as well, where you go all the way around on bridge to go fight the Ana, right? And like you don't have to do that. It's more important to control space. Like this the pressure you put on this angle is crazy, but you don't even have to blink to get here, right? Or whoops, that's not. But you like you're blinking to like get a slightly better angle when like I went too far back. So this blink's fine because you need help or you need safety, I guess. But this blink is not necessary. Just like walk around the corner and shoot this guy, right? Now we can save blinks for when the dive's actually happening, and as you see me going in, you can like jump in as well, right? Or like blink in as well. But like you're short of blink right now because you used it to like blink into position, right? Now this is going to require recall because you use all your blinks getting here. Yeah, so what you do basically in terms of, if you think about it in terms of like angles, right, is you defend this side of the map for your team if that's important, right? So that way your flex support can like play here safely. And then like you can shoot the monkey here, right? And if like you decide you want to get aggressive, right, you just go around the corner, right, and you have a more aggressive angle, right? It's that simple, right? Or if you're playing on this side of the map, right, you defend this side of the map from the enemy tracer, right, and that way your flex support can play here safely, right? Same idea. Or even down here safely if you're like just more aggressively holding up here, right? And then when you want to get aggressive, right, you just walk forward and now you're on a flank, right? You see how that works? But the most important thing is controlling the angle, not flanking, right? Flanking is like what you get is your reward for controlling the angle properly, right? But it's not something you want to force every fight, right? Alright, you're hiding, that's chill. Alright, again, very aggressively flanking. Instead of just sitting here, controlling the angle, and shooting the monkey, right? You could be doing like non-negligible damage while also stopping the tracer from getting into the map, right? But now you're gonna aggressively take a 1v1. Oh my god, you destroyed her. Well, I mean, when you do that, like, you can do whatever you want, I guess. But that's not something you should be trying to take, right? It's like an aggressive 1v1 with when the other tracer has better access to the support, right? Again, that's flanking, that's not controlling an angle.
Much better.
Right, this is when you'd want to flank, right? Because this is when I was calling that I was going for an aggressive jump, right? So this is communication. I don't know how clearly I was calling this stuff. Like I don't actually remember. I was super tired that day. But like this is when you'd want to be aggressively flanking and also timing it for my jump, right? As soon as you see like I'm falling back and then I'm about to calling for Nano to jump in, that's when you aggressively push this flank and try and get here in time for my play, right? I'm bailing, so I think I'm calling that. Yeah, so you can bail. Or just hide here. Like, hiding here is not bad. It's a free flank, essentially. Your reward for the last fight, basically. Forcing a lot of healer attention. This is fine. Might even get the Ana eventually. She has no cooldowns. That's a bubble as well. That's 3 major cooldowns you forced. Nice.
Hello there.
I think we're calling he's in spawn, so I understand what you're doing. Again, you're aggressively flanking, but this time we're not calling to go aggressive, right? We don't have nano, we don't have primal. There's a limit to how far I can jump, right? So I'm playing more defensive here, and yet you're still going a really aggressive for a flank anyways. This is just like not necessary at this point. You're like really aggressively committing to these like trying to distract the Ana, but like if you're not outputting damage on the tanks, if you're just not outputting damage in general, right? Because you're so busy trying to flank the Ana doesn't have anything to heal, right? So like you're really relying on your team to do a lot of damage here to make up the fact that you're not doing any, right? Which is why again it's more important to control angles, stop the enemy team from doing damage in the first place, right? And then when it's convenient, go for the supports and kill them, right? Now you're taking like this flank is super long developing. You're so far behind the play now, right? The fight's been on for like already like 10 seconds, and you're like all the way back here still. Because you're always flanking, right? Instead of just like being like, oh, I'm behind the play. Let me just walk out here and go in the on it, right? Like you just like okay, I'm gonna go all the way around behind them. I'm gonna sneak up. They're never gonna see me coming, and then the fight's already on, right? You're like super late. Good stick though. You didn't need to recall that for sure. Now again, you're super far behind the play. And you don't have the blinks to make up for it because you spent all your blinks getting in. And again, now you have no recall, right? These are sort of just adding up. Again, please don't flank. Oh my god. Like, they have to touch point, right? They have to come through this way because it's the fastest way to get to point. They might have someone touch from this direction, right? And none of these insides involve going back here. None of this involves this area of the map, right? So don't even try. Just sit here, wait for someone to walk through choke and shoot them, right? That's all that matters. You don't need a flank. This literally doesn't matter. All it does is risks dying when you don't need to. Like you actually just would have done more damage if you were sitting on point shooting them as they walked in. Alright.
Score 1-0. Ready for battle.
What do we play here? I think we play Rush, right? Alright, let's see your create. Got the... Is that the Mayhem? Oh, I didn't know the Mayhem skin looked like this. It was like black. Okay. Alright, forgot how long this pause was. Oh my god. Alright. We made it. I like this off angle. This is really good. I didn't know that this was happening behind me. That's really funny. Hit me, hit me, hit me. This is what, okay. So this is what you were doing on Havana, right? It's the exact same thing. This is like their spawn on Havana, right? And you're shooting all the way from over here, and they just run past you and take a fight, right? This is really bad. Yes, off angling is good, and when you're retaking, this is really valuable. When your whole team's pushing that way and you come out through here, but that's because you can shoot these people, right? These guys are trying to get through the choke, which means that they don't want to be. You're not going to see them anyways, right? And when you come out here, you're going to be stuck holding the same LS as your team, and you're really far away. So when you're holding this choke, you want to be like here, right? Where you can jump on top of this, or over here where you can jump on top of this, and you get a real angle that's a real off angle, right? And you can time it, right? So you can like poke here initially, like just poke, like with like quick peeks, right? And then when the fight starts, you hop on top of this, you go look for a flashbang, and you get a free, like you can threaten the backline. We will all be standing back here, and none of them can LOS you if they're trying to help their team, right? Hey, what's up, humming goth? But yeah, so it's really important that you like don't get greedy with off angles when you understand, because you need to understand where the fight is, right? If this is not where the fight is, right? Or like this is not going to be where the fight is unless the team is calling that to like push aggressively into this, which we're not. So that you need to know that like this is what I was talking about, where I need off angle pressure on the choke, right? And so the Zarya can provide that, you can provide that, the Mei can provide that, right? But you need to be in this at least general vicinity. Am I good at Overwatch? I'm okay. But see, you're stuck with the same angle as your team. Like, I mean, I guess we missed the wall as well. But like, you're gonna be stuck with the same angle as the team. I think I remember that like, the wall comes up behind as well, right? And then you can't see anything. You have to walk all the way around to do anything. It really sucks. Right, the wall comes up, right? You get stuck. Look how close you are to the enemy team, right? You're like in super danger, as opposed to being up here, right, where you can flash and be very safe, right? Oh, you fell. That's awkward. I like when the fight's devolving, that you just like back up to high ground. That's pretty good. I should just all in for a kill here, probably. Oh, okay, I mean, I guess you get a kill that way as well. Yeah, overall, you played this fine so far. Let's see how we retake. Oh, I think did I bait you here by dropping? I think I baited you. Oh no, you're fine. Well, not fine per se, but is Gabe in the chat? I don't know where rank he is right now. I think he's like diamond, like either low diamond or high plat.
Let's start over at the beginning. Oh, excuse me.
It do be like that. That's exactly average, right? 2.2. Pretty close. Oh, dude, same. That was great. That was fine. I mean, it was high noon. Yeah, so this is good, right? You're playing the off angle on the actual choke, right? And then you're just going to hop up here, and it'll be great. All right, don't stand out here. Don't stand here though. Like at most, be like quick peeking, right? Like you just like peek, 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 right? See if anything's going on, right? And maybe consider shooting, right? But you don't actually want to draw attention to this spot until like the fight's starting. Oh god, if you're doing this, this needs to be comboed with a flash, with an ult, right? So if you're going to be doing this, this needs to be a flash shatter, right? I don't want to see you doing this if we're not calling flash shatter here, and we're definitely not. So please don't do this. You like this is your standard spot, right? Just in this general area, right? And you only play here for aggressive flash plays, right? Be really cautious about doing this normally. Like yes, that was aggressive flash play, but like now like we didn't the flash play didn't win the fight, right? That wasn't a flash shatter or something. So if you look at what's going on now, you're stuck in the backline with no help, right? So you got beat, which is cool, and it's going to keep you alive, and everyone's looking at the grabs. But this is like super high risk, low reward. Right, and this Zarya just like starts beaming you because like she knows she can. Yeah, so you 100% died here because you lost all your health backing up from here to here essentially.
I've got unfinished business.
Alright, so this is when you don't want to be with your team, right? For example, this is when it's okay to go this side as the team's pushing out because this gives you a real off angle, right? Because you can shoot them and then you can threaten high noon, or you can like walk up here and threaten high noon still, and there's a lot of stuff you can do. But if you're coming with your team, like you're either looking to like rush out the choke as fast as you can before they get set, which I think was the plan, and you're trying to get like a real like an off angle, you're trying to get wide on the choke as fast as you can, or you're looking for an aggressive flash play. But forcing aggressive flash plays through chokes is always really awkward. So I want to see you as soon as like we get to the choke, just like roll out here and try to get position. That's good enough, I guess. That's awkward. Yeah, so nice. You went forward for a flash play, and as soon as you use your flash, you split off for an off angle. So this is really good.
This one's nice.
Alright, please don't stack with your Rhine. Ah, you're going this way again. This is not important, right? Play over here, right? And if the enemy team goes this way, you have a free off angle just by playing here, right? Essentially. And then you can also come back this way if the enemy team the fight rotates in this direction, right? You just walk over here and now you've got another off angle, right? You can start taking the high ground, you can do a bunch of stuff. But don't get stuck like behind your team. Like you want to use high noon here, but how are you supposed to use high noon here, right? Ooh. I'll make that the answer, don't worry, Matt. This high noon is so risky. It worked, I can't believe it. Alright, take the high ground, this is good. Unlucky. Okay. Next map. Oh. I skipped too far forward. Still too far forward. Alright, we're walking. Yeah, so quick thing. By the way, you can throw fire strikes like through this. So like always watch out for a fire strike walking out here because every Rhine in the world throws this. This is oh god so aggressive. I was wondering how you ended up here actually. So if you want to take an off angle, that's fine, right? But don't like walk in like this without rolling in and trying to like very aggressively hold this position, right? Otherwise, like you want to just chill, maybe even walk out this direction and start shooting from over here, right? You can like even like split initially from the team and play over here and then shoot main, right? And then even apply pressure to point if this turns into a long stalemate, right? But don't like just try and force it here without like really like do it quickly, right? Because this is so dangerous, and then he boops you and makes it even worse. Like the fact you didn't die here is incredible. Like once you get here, it's wait, why don't you flash it? Oh, whatever. Once you get here, it's okay, right? But getting there is so hard, right? And in most cases, a good team will see that you went there and just go kill you, right? And again, right? You're face tanking, right? You don't need to be with the team, right? As soon as you get to this point, as soon as like it turns into a stalemate, you want to figure out how you can apply a pressure to them from the sides, right? So they kicked you out of here. Going around is unreasonable, right? I mean, it's not actually that unreasonable. So if you want to go flank with flashbang and go for a kill, that's totally okay, by the way. But it's a little like unreasonable. It's a little long. So at this point, you should be thinking about like, okay, I need to back out, right? And see if I can like get over here and take a real angle, right? Because both Rhines are dead. No one really can force the issue anymore. It's more about angles and like who can spam better. If you look, right, they're spamming us a lot better than we can spam them because we're all stuck on our side of the choke and they have a concave, right? So trying to walk through here without rolling and just running is like really questionable. Yeah, and you die for it.
My time.
Oh, this is why I let everyone get shattered. I'll try.
Back into the mix.
All right. Again, if we're gonna be going with the team, this has to be a very aggressive flash play, and this needs to be called, right? Otherwise, right, I want to see you going this way, right? And then maybe even splitting up over here and applying point pressure and applying real threat to the enemy team from the sides, right? Okay, flash play. That was okay, right? But again, I want to next time that needs to be called. I know that's like that's not comms here, but I know that wasn't called. I'm pretty sure at least. Unless I wasn't listening. I could have not been listening. That could have been definitely the case. Sombra hunting, big fan. Again, don't stack with the team. Alright, so we're going this way. This is a pretty awkward spot to fight. This is probably my bad. Again, don't chase the fight, right? Set up somewhere on the side if you can. Like, start walking up this way and looking for a flank. Oh, the big flash. This is too close. Ah! And this is the problem with stacking your team, is that you put yourself in a situation like this, as opposed to being over here, where you're threatening to flank, and if you want to high noon, right? Sure, we're going to get EMP'd, but this is like the freest high noon in the world. No one can threaten you at all, right? And then once this happens, right, you can just walk up over here, right? Again, still threaten the flank. If you get pushed, right, if they start looking back at you, just like roll off the high ground, go back to your team, set up, and you're back on high ground, right? It's super, super simple. Super easy, rather. But this is just like, it's going to get you killed, probably. Oh, you lived. Nice. Never punished. Alright, that fan is
This life's never uneventful.
hit me. I appreciate the effort. Again, so while this is going on, right, as we're here, right, just keep going this way, right? Who's going to stop you? Right? The Lucio's running away, he's probably not even looking, right? You just walk in this way, and, like, this is a free kill, probably. But you go this way, you're late to the fight, and also, like, your angle sucks, right? You see everything, you don't see anything different from the rest of your team. Again, don't get stuck on point. Either go this way or go this way. Pick a side and commit to it early. And then if something changes, right, then back out and go the other side, right? But at least start walking towards the side, right? Unless you know that, like, unless you're really not sure where they're gonna go and you need information before you make a play. That can happen against dives sometimes, but. And so now the problem is, again, we're stacked with Ryan and Cree, right? And you kind of want to find somewhere else to go. You can stay here initially, but try and figure, like, as soon as the enemy team commits to a direction, like, that needs to inform your decision making. If they start walking up here, right, you need to, like, either, like, walk out here for, like, I don't know, flash play or something, or, like, walk down this way towards point for an angle, right? And then tell the team that we're not to fight over this corner, right? And that way you can actually do things, right? Or, I guess, if like, for some reason they all decide to push as 6 to here, then you can just, like, back up and, like, play this angle, I guess. And then the team will hold this angle, right? And it's hard to push you, right? And that's, like, a pretty, like, it's a small concave, but it is a concave, right? But find things to do besides standing beside your end. Doing the Sombra, that's good. I almost died for it, though, actually. Alright, this is scary, because the Zarya's off-angling, and if you get left alone, right, the Zarya can push you. So, as soon as, like, you realize that Zarya's here, and if you don't feel confident standing here, ask your Zarya to stand here for you, right? Like, have the Zarya mirror, the Zarya doesn't lose that with your help, right? And no matter what, you can control this spot until the enemy team decides to actually commit more resources. And maybe you can even kill the Zarya, right? But pushing this solo is super, super risky, right? Wow, she actually just ran. Okay. Alright, this is good, right? Look how much you can do from this spot. Like, it's so strong. Bring so much threat. Use your flashbang though, so you backed out, that's okay. Oh, don't peek the window. Just stand here. Just stand here. Like, at least, if you're going to peek it, like, do it for a split second and shoot and then back out. Don't stand here in front of the window, because, like, ooh. I guess. Again, okay, you have flashbang, so you're going to flank again. That's fine. Like, again, see, when you have your Zarya here, this fight is so easy, right? But if that Zarya had, like, actually tried to fight you with her bubble, you would be in a lot of trouble. Previously. My noon is fine. Alright. So overall, do they touch actually? No. Oh, the armor touch, right. It doesn't matter. So overall, for your Tracer, you gotta be less flank happy. You gotta be more focused on controlling angles, and then committing when, like, the play makes sense. You're just, like, kind of, like, flanking as, like, your default play, and it causes, like, a lot of issues for you when you end up behind the play, or if it doesn't work out, right? So if, like, the flank isn't, like, super optimal, you either spend, like, a year fighting the Ana, or you just, like, straight up don't even get the kill, right? Or even get any threat, right? So, like, again, focus less on the flank and more on controlling the off angle, right? And then the off angle will give you a chance to flank if you win it, right? So, like, don't worry about flanking so much. And then on McCree, you need to worry about flanking more. And try to fight in, like, try to think about where the fight actually is based on where your team is, and set up on an angle around that, right? So if your team is, like, where's the other map? Is it below us? No, it should be above. Or is it, so somewhere else? Shoot, where is it? Is that it? Why are they so far away from each other on this map? But whatever. So if, for example, if your team wants to fight here, that generally means that your team is not pushing through the choke, right? We're very rarely going to extend this way, so this should not be your position, right? You need to understand where the team is going to fight is going to happen. So if the fight is happening here for some reason, for whatever reason, and your Ryan's playing here, right? Then you want to hold an angle like I don't know, like here or something, right? And then if this fight moves forward, right? Say we end up winning this exchange and then start pushing out, right? Then you can like walk over here. This is obviously not going to happen. This is not very realistic, but the idea is like this is how the concept works, right? You need an angle that can see that's not with your team, that sees the spot your team is trying to fight it, right? But if you like angle here like you did on Mecha Base, right? Then the fight will happen here and you're behind the play, right? And then you have to flank because you can't do anything otherwise, or you have to go back and find another way to go, right? Um, and Yeah, so just look more aggressively for off angles and make sure the off angle like makes sense in the context of what your team is trying to do, right? And there will be a lot of adjustments, which is why it's so important in these rush metas to call what the team wants to do early, right? You can call it, anyone call it. Like I think I was calling a lot of it during this game, because Dan wasn't here, but people need to call it, right? And then make your set up your off angle like I don't know 45 to 90ish degrees away from your team, in a spot that can shoot the spot we're talking about fighting at. Yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. And if you get to this part of the video, unless you're watching in chat, DM me what 13 plus 4 equals.